Hey, what's going on guys? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new around here, my name is of course AMMAR and I'm an electric skateboarder and content creator based right here in the UK. My goal for this channel is to bring you guys the very best reviews, tutorials and ride videos. So if any of that interests you, smash that subscribe button. You really won't regret it. And in today's video, I am really excited to bring you guys the unboxing and first impressions of the Exway Atlas Pro two-wheel drive. I've anxiously been waiting for this board for quite some time. I did have the option to review this when it first came out, but it would have been a pre-production model. I opted to wait and get the production version because if you guys are familiar with my channel, then you'll know that I already reviewed the Exway Atlas original as a pre-production version, and there were some significant improvements to come to that board down the line in the production version. So for this time round with the Exway Atlas Pro, I said, let's just wait and we'll get the production version. And that's exactly what we have today. I've tested the four-wheel drive before on the Exway Atlas. So with the Atlas Pro, I'm going to be testing the two-wheel drive this time, and I really cannot wait to get into this box. As always, thank you so much to Nobleman Tech for being our channel sponsors. Check them out for all your safety gear, your e-skate safety gear. I highly recommend that you're always wearing your helmets and your protection when riding, and they provide some of the best protection out there. And you can also use the code AMMAR at the checkout for 5% off your orders. Timestamps are going to be in the description below as always, but without any further ado, let's get into this box. So straight off the bat guys, one thing I can tell you after receiving dozens of electric skateboards over the last couple of years is that reputable brands normally ship their boards with two boxes. So they've got one very thick box like this, a thick piece of packaging which will protect your board during shipping, and then you've got your actual box, which perhaps is a little more sleeker, a little more design savvy if you like, and that's a really nice thing. You'll get this with Wowgo, with Meepo, with Exway of course, less so with some of the more budget brands. But let's get into this box. By the way, always cut away from you when you're cutting a box like this, especially when sometimes it requires a little bit of force to get it open. So that's the box open there. This box fits in the other one like a glove. So first things first, branding wise, on the side of the box, we've got Exway's motto, skate minded. By the way, this box is enormous. It's really long. And to give you guys some perspective, I've got an Exway X1 Max here, which some of you guys might be more familiar with. And as you can see, you've got a solid amount of extra length there on the right side. So this board I'm expecting to be considerably longer than the Exway X1 Max. But for now, I just really want to get into this box. So here goes nothing. Okay, let's get these styrofoam out of the way. That'd be a good idea. Wow, would you look at that? What a beauty. Okay, let's get a POV angle going here. So I obviously owned the original Exway Atlas four-wheel drive, so I can tell instantly some of the differences. And look at the size of those motors. They are enormous, significantly bigger. We'll go through the exact specs in a few minutes, but significantly bigger than their previous generation, their little brothers. I can see also just about the chrome of the wheel hub there. I'm really excited to pull the board out and have a look at that. The grip actually feels a lot more robust this time round. I think this is Exway's new grip tape. They've got their new motto down on the center of the board, Exway skate minded. We didn't actually have this before. Previously we just had, if you had a four-wheel drive model, you had that at the back of the board. That was to indicate the back of the board, and you also had the Exway logo on the other side. And then we've just got the Exway Atlas Pro logo at the front there. So instantly, I'm really liking how this board looks. Oh my god, this bash guard is crazy. It's almost ripping the fingers out my hand. That's how robust and hardcore this bash guard is, which is a great thing, by the way. That's exactly what you want in a bash guard. Previously, the bash guard had three sort of rods that go from one side to the other. These aren't even rods. These are straight up just massive metal pieces that span from one side to the other, and it's just two pieces. So let's get the board out. With that, no problem. All right, so what do we get by way of accessories, you might be wondering? This is the basic most form of the Exway Atlas. So I've just got the AT kit, no street kit. If I did have the street kit, they would be in these cutouts here. So have I got a UK plug? Unfortunately not. I've got a US plug here, it seems. That's fine, I've got an adapter for that. Obviously, if you order your board to the UK, you will actually have a UK plug in the box, but being a reviewer, sometimes it doesn't always work out like that. Washers, we'll get to those soon. We've got a letter from Exway. This is just going to be a thank you letter for supporting Exway, which is really awesome. I always love the gold color on Exway's logo and text there. It makes you feel very, very special. You've then got a really nice user manual. I should actually be in this user manual somewhere. Let's see if I can find myself in a couple of seconds. Really well produced, by the way. This is something you'd expect to see in a magazine somewhere. There I am, just there. Pretty awesome. More user manual stuff, a bunch of stickers. Does that say Atlas on it? I was going to say Exway have gone above and beyond there. If even the stickers are Exway related. Nope. I think I was getting a bit ahead of myself there. But still, nonetheless, if you like to sticker bomb your stuff, I love to sticker bomb my helmet, then that will suit you well. You do have a T-tool, nothing special, just a standard T-tool with an Allen key that will help you get into various parts of the board. I've got a handle here as well, a very robust handle. It actually looks titanium. I can see the sort of metal on it. It's not your standard aluminum. You can see there on the screen, it's quite shiny. Hopefully really, really robust, and it will last a long, long time. I will install that with time on the board. So Exway are shipping, which is interesting, a bunch of bushings. Now, I will check this in a second, but the Exway Atlas 4-wheel drive original actually shipped with barrel bushings in all positions, and that was one of the reasons that the board was able to set itself apart from many competitors and provide really a whole lot of stability as well as carving. Box almost tried to kill me there. So yeah, this is really great. It seems like Exway have kept to that with the Atlas Pro, so hopefully really, really nice carving and also super, super stable at speed. So you've got 2, 4, 6, 8 barrel bushings there. I'm not sure on the durometer. I will check that. I'm assuming that these are harder durometer bushings for heavier folk. Thankfully, I'm not in that heavier folk bracket anymore. I actually today weighed myself. I'm around 81 kilograms now. I started off my weight loss journey at around 125 kilograms, which is insane. So hopefully I'll get more range on the board as well. I'm really, really looking forward to range testing the board. So yeah, apart from the chargers, T-tool, you've also got a few more tools. I mentioned you get your Allen key with the T-tool, but you get a few much better quality Allen keys here as well. I'm not exactly sure what this is. It says T005-1. If any DIY savvy people out there know what this is, it's almost like a pencil. It's very sharp on one end, on the other end looks a bit like a fish hook. Yeah, if anybody knows what that is, make sure to drop it down in the comment section below. But as I mentioned, you've got other T-tools and stuff in here. Other Allen keys that will help you get into various parts of the board. You also have an assortment of washers and screws and things. So this is really nice. If you ever lose a screw for whatever reason, then you've got these set in the box. But what I'm really actually excited about, once I put these back in there, is, oops, I'll get that in a second. What I'm really excited about is that I've just spotted the USB-C charging cable for the remote. And notice there I said USB-C. I've hinted at this for a long, long time that Exway will be releasing a USB-C remote controller, and it's happened. A lot of people didn't believe me, but here we are. So pretty awesome. As I always say time and again, the majority of my accessories are USB-C. So the more and more e-skate accessories that I can have that charge with USB-C, a lot of them already do, such as my Shredlite SL1000, my other Shredlites, SL300 and R1s. And a lot of remotes from other competitor brands also charge with USB-C, like the Wago 82 Plus that I'm reviewing currently. So yeah, this is really awesome and a nice upgrade. The remote actually does feel a bit different as well to my Exway Atlas Pro, Exway Atlas remote, the stock remote. This one's got a bit more of a softer plastic finish to it, which is really nice. It's a bit more sort of glossy, and I'm hoping that that will provide a bit more sort of protection. But in terms of the remote itself, It's the same sort of operation. So you've got a small screen which will display all the information that you need on it. You've got the one button there. You've got, of course, your accelerator and decelerator there. And then you've got your USB-C charging port at the bottom. So what else do you get in the box? I think that's pretty much it, apart from the charger. Wow. Okay, we're really starting to get into Apple territory here now with Exway. All their stuff is just constantly improving and improving and improving, and the amount of refinement in their accessories, in their boards, and now in their chargers as well is incredible. A lot of people compare Exway's products to Apple products, and you can really see why with really slim, beautiful chargers like this. I mean, look at this thing. Beautiful, small Exway logo here on the top left. You've got the indicator light is actually on the corner, so you'll be able to see whether your board, the status of your board's charging from both the side and also from the top. And you can see it's just a really, really nice, sleek package. I've never seen a charger, especially a charger for a all-terrain electric skateboard, as small and as slim and as light as this, which is awesome. You've got a cable sort of sleeve here holding up the excess of the cables. Interesting there, this adapter I've never before seen on other Exway boards, but yeah, really, really cool stuff. You also have a wristband, skate-minded Exway Flex Wave Atlas. Pretty awesome. I'll put that on now actually. Got to rep the brand. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So that's what you get in your Exway Atlas Pro two-wheel drive single kit. So this is just if you get the 80 or the street kit. And if anybody knows, like I said, what this is the one thing that I'm not sure what it is. If anybody knows what this is, then give us a shout in the comment section below. But let's now put this away, and I want to get that board back on the table and we'll take a closer look at the board, because I can just see the wheel hubs to it and they look amazing. So I'm just sitting at my desk here with the Exway Atlas Pro, smiling uncontrollably at it, because I was one of the very first Exway Atlas owners in the world. It was me, Daniel Kwan, Scott Davies, Ronnie as well. We had the very first Exway Atlas pre-production models, and it's just crazy to see how far Exway's innovation has come in such a short space of time. The Exway Atlas original was already an incredible board. The main criticism people had was range. We'll go on to talk about this, but not only is the pack in this board a lot bigger, the battery pack, but also Exway have developed an auxiliary battery pack, which will essentially murder your range anxiety. You'll never ever have range anxiety again. But also the power, the motors. I mean, these are 6370 motors and they boast 7,056 watts of power each. Just from the size of them, compared to especially my pre-production model, which had smaller motors to begin with. It's incredible how much bigger the motors are. And of course, that's going to mean an enormous amount more power and more efficiency. In fact, it's up to twice as powerful as the Exway Atlas four-wheel drive. If you're comparing the four-wheel drive Exway Atlas Pro to the older four-wheel drive. And then I'm taking a look at the trucks of this board, and they're wider than the original Exway Atlas. See, this is what I mean by Exway is, I've said this before, Exway are a company run by skaters. They understand how to make amazing skateboards and amazing electric skateboards because they themselves are skaters like me and you. And they understand that if you increase the width of the trucks, that's going to allow for a lot more stability at high speed. So these are actually 10.5 inches wide trucks. On the original Exway Atlas, I think they were 9.25 inches each. So it might not sound like a lot, but when you add that up along with just look at the kingpin. The kingpin is stretching all the way out here. And then of course you've got your barrel bushings in all your positions. This is a carbon deck that's going to add to the stability once again. Just really, really amazing stuff from Exway here. Of course, take all of what I'm saying now with a pinch of salt, because I do need to put this board through its paces. I do need to make a comprehensive review, and make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss that. But these are just my first impressions and I'm super, super impressed. The grip is also a lot more robust than what I remember on the Exway Atlas original. That was a lot smoother. This is a lot more robust, which is excellent. It's still shock absorbing, so it will still provide you with that little bit of dampening of shocks when you're riding over undesirable terrain, but it's much grippier, and that means that, especially in wet weather, which I don't recommend you ride in wet weather, but if you're riding in muddy conditions or dirty conditions, your foot is going to stay planted here. And I can tell there's a concave there. There's a really nice concave actually. Now what we also have on this Exway Atlas Pro model, which is an upgrade from its predecessor, are these CNC hubs. Not only do they look absolutely amazing, and of course they're metal in construction, which the old ones weren't, these should in theory allow you to switch very easily between different wheel setups. I will have to test that later on because I'm not entirely familiar at this second how that works. Suffice to say, they look amazing. It's got that sort of chrome finish to it. It looks like a very premium, makes your whole board look like a very premium product. And then if I... It is a heavy beast, isn't it? I'll tell you what, you guys can enjoy this satisfaction with me of peeling this ESC wrapper off the board. Like I said, it's a very sort of Apple experience that you get with Exway, and that's what I really like. It's one of the reasons why I chose to be an ambassador with this brand versus others. The quality of their products is just amazing. So refined, so incredible. Okay. How satisfying was that? And if that wasn't satisfying enough, I might actually regret taking it off the underside of the deck because I've got a tendency to scratch the underside of my deck in my testing because my testing's a bit hardcore. But beautiful stuff. And then one more on this side. It's funny here on the ESC, well actually not the ESC because this is a dummy ESC that's just sitting here as a sort of placeholder. If you were to upgrade this board, which is another amazing thing that I mentioned in the original reviews of the Exway Atlas 4-wheel drive and also of the 2-wheel drive, you can upgrade this to 4-wheel drive. If you ever wanted more power, you could very easily buy a whole new drivetrain setup, buy another ESC, and then put a real ESC in this place, which is a placeholder. But it's funny, they say Exway Atlas Pro is extremely powerful, wear protective gear and test in a safe environment only. I don't doubt that this board is powerful, and it's really good that Exway have put that notice there. I don't know if I would recommend this board for beginners, although actually I would recommend this board for beginners because you can tune, which is another amazing thing. Exway have got a smart app where you can customize every aspect of this board. You can tune it so that instead of being this almighty beast that dominates roads, trails, grass, you can tune it so that it's very sensitive, it's very gentle, it's almost a gentle giant, and you can max your top speed out at 10 miles an hour or 5 miles an hour until you get used to the board, and then you can progressively increase that as you become a more talented e-skater. Orange bushings, both board side and roadside on this board. Orange is very Exway, of course. I will have to test them out on my first ride to see how they are for my weight and whether I should switch them out for the grey bushings in the box. Now, the battery pack in this board is 701 watt hours, which of course is an improvement from the Exway Atlas, but that's not what impresses me. What impresses me is some of the accessories, especially battery related accessories, which you'll be able to buy for this board. You will actually, hopefully soon, fingers crossed, be able to purchase an auxiliary battery pack for this board, which will boost its battery capacity to 1,750 watt hours, which is just completely mind-blowing. Like literally, no competitor can even compete with that level of watt hours. Of course, nobody else has thought of the battery box idea outside of electric mountain board companies like Tramper boards, of course, but that's a completely different sort of niche. It's a different sort of board. No 2-in-1 style board has ever thought of that. Exway is very innovative. They always like to think ahead. They are sort of the people or the brand that's at the forefront of innovation. So they are the brands most likely to develop this. And with that, I mean, you're able to get an incredible 95 kilometers of range with the 2-wheel drive. Once I get that pack, I'm really itching to get my hands on that auxiliary battery pack because 95 kilometers of range is incredible. I could probably ride like literally from here to different cities away from where I am and probably make the journey back as well on one battery, which is incredible. But as things stand with the 701 watt hour battery in the board at the moment in this Atlas Pro, in 2-wheel drive configuration, I can get 38 kilometers, or in 4-wheel drive configuration, that will drop slightly to 34 kilometers, of course, because of that increased energy consumption from having the extra 2 motors at the front. And even if you switched those 2 motors off at the front, you are going to have that rolling resistance going on. Now, if I were to put street wheels on this board, say 90mm street wheels, the wide street wheels that Exway do, my range would increase to 73 kilometers, which again is a mind-blowing figure. I'd love to put these figures to the test. I don't know if my feet can bear them, but pretty incredible. Another really nice additional accessory which you can purchase for the Exway Atlas is a 1000 watt charger. Now the charger which ships with the board currently is a 210 watt charger, and with this charger you can expect a few hours for your charge, but Exway are soon to be releasing a 1000 watt fast charger. Again, absolutely crazy, and it's actually a smart fast charger. It will allow for 500% faster charging, and you can get 50% of this board's battery filled up within literally half an hour. So a full battery charge in 1 hour with the size of this battery. This is just like next level technology that Exway are introducing, and because it's going to be a sort of safe smart charger, and because the BMS within the Exway Atlas Pro is also very smart, your board is going to be protected from overcharging. But what I would say is, once that charger is released, I wouldn't just purchase that charger and use it exclusively, because just the way batteries work in general, you're going to end up degrading your battery cells a little bit quicker if you rely on that battery, that charger solely. But it's a great charger to use on group rides, for instance, or when you just can't get enough riding in the day. In 1 hour you can have a full charge and go back out there. But on a standard, I think this beautiful slim 210 watt charger would serve you very, very nicely. One thing I actually forgot to say about these CNC hubs is that they're designed to be compatible with not only belt drive, which of course is the configuration as they are at the moment, but also gear drive, which Exway will be releasing in the future, and direct drive as well, which Exway are to be releasing in the future. Exway have been teasing this since the original Exway Atlas, so I really can't wait for when they actually release it. Exway do eventually release the products that they tease, of course. It just sometimes takes a lot longer, especially with COVID supply issues and things of that nature. Of course, there's other accessories which you can purchase for this board which are amazing. I've mentioned the handle that's come in my box. I'll put on the screen now if it will come as stock with your Atlas Pro 2. You can also, of course, get backwards compatibility with other Exway Atlas accessories, such as the mud guards / shred lights brackets. That's proved to be a really popular accessory for a lot of Exway Atlas owners. Other accessories include the bash guard on this board, which, like I mentioned in the unboxing, I was super impressed with, because the bash guard / motor bracket is so much more robust than originally. There was no problem with the original motor bracket on this board, but this one just looks absolute tank. Like literally, it looks like this board can get hit by a car or a truck from behind and it will survive.
Obviously it's not going to survive a truck, but you know what I mean.
Other accessories include, I don't have it at the moment, but you can actually purchase a silicone cover for the remote. I'd highly recommend that because it will just go an extra way towards protecting your remote. But yeah, those are my first impressions of the Exway Atlas Pro. Now I'm gonna pull out the GoPro or the Insta360 camera, take this board out on the roads and show you guys what I actually think about it once I've got it under my feet, because that's the most important thing. This board can look beautiful, which it does. It can feel beautiful. The carbon fiber especially looks amazing, but it's at the end of the day all about the ride feeling and how the board responds under my feet. So let's cut to that riding footage. All right then guys, welcome to the riding portion of this video, and we're starting it off going casually up a 15-degree incline like it's nothing. This is the Exway Atlas Pro. This is the performance and power that this board has. I should say as well guys, when you're riding a board as powerful as the Exway Atlas Pro, make sure you're properly protected. At the moment I'm wearing my TK02 helmet, full face helmet from Nobleman Tech. This is probably one of my most used helmets, along with their K2. I normally go up for the full face when I'm riding high performance boards like this. I've then got my Onzra protective jacket. I really love this jacket as well. Full review coming soon. I always wear this again when I'm pushing my limits and when I'm riding high performance boards. And then I've got my Nobleman Tech TQ01 pads too. And these will provide me with not only knee protection but also shin protection, which is essential if you're coming off your board at speed. You really don't want to be doing too much damage to your ligaments, especially as you get older. So make sure you check out all of these amazing products. I will leave the links in the description, and you can get 5% off both this helmet and the pads if you use the code AMMAR at the checkout, which is really awesome. But yeah, let's get this ride started. I am actually riding in a little bit of drizzle today. There's nothing much I can do about that. I'm really tight on time and I need to get this video filmed, so it will be a good test for how grippy this board is under wet conditions. The pneumatic tires should do a great job, but we'll test that. At the moment I'm just literally filtering through traffic, which is one of the things you can do when you've got an electric skateboard, which is fantastic. You don't have to get caught up in rush hour traffic. You can literally just make your way to where you want to go, and nobody can really hold you up, because I don't know about you, but I've never seen a traffic jam of cyclists. I mean, I don't live in the Netherlands, so perhaps I'll never see that. But yeah, I'm really loving this board so far. I have had to ride it just a little bit to get it through the safe mode and to unlock gears 3 and 4. But guys, I am super impressed with this board thus far. We'll see if that changes throughout the duration of this test. Gotta watch out for cars pulling out and trying to reverse into me there. Wow, look at this place. This is really nice. Check out those lights. But yeah, Exway Atlas Pro. At the moment I've got this board on 6-inch 80 pneumatic tyres. And what I really like about these 6-inch tyres actually is that they really grip the road surface fantastically, because they're quite wide tread tyres. And what I mean by that is that they're a little bit fatter than what you'd expect on perhaps an Evolve skateboard or many other pneumatic skateboards. And what that entails for us as e-skaters and when we're riding on the roads is that you get much more contact surface between the tyre tread and the road, and that allows for a lot more grip. But I do need full concentration here. I'm on quite a busy roundabout, as you can see, so I'll catch up with you guys in a second. Guys, when you're riding a board like this, you sometimes feel like you're in a Tesla. You beat pretty much every car. Doesn't matter if it's a Mercedes or whatever, you'll beat it off the line on a set of traffic lights. Of course, obviously it's going to catch up to you and beat you probably, but just that initial torque, that initial acceleration, obviously anything electric is going to accelerate amazingly well. But one point I do want to touch on actually is just the amount of acceleration on this board. I would actually say it's borderline dangerous if you're not careful and if you're not expecting it, because it will really pull like a train. And I'm not even exaggerating that. You know how normally when you ride an electric skateboard, you will lean forward when you accelerate, you'll lean back when you brake, so to speak. You really have to exaggerate those movements with the Exway Atlas Pro, because if you don't, then the board will just throw you off the back. And just as an example of that, even in gear 2 of this board, which is 2 of 4 by the way, I had to ride in gear 2 for around 10 kilometers, like I said, to unlock the higher speed settings, speed modes on this board. But even in gear 2, even though the board doesn't top out at a very high top speed, getting to that top speed, if you're not ready for that initial burst of acceleration, the board will throw you off the back. And it did that to me this morning actually, when I was just getting the board out of safe mode, which was incredible. And I actually liked that, because it showed that the level of performance that this board's actually got under its belt, and shows what this board is capable of. So at the moment I've got the board in gear 3, and it always just wants to go. Like the second you put your finger on the throttle, the board is so responsive. I don't know if you saw that little jerk there. I wasn't quite ready, but I just literally just tapped like a millimeter of throttle, and the board was ready and itching to go forward, to thrust me forward like a train, which was amazing. And by the way, Broad Street has finally been completed, the tram line here. If you're a local Brummie, I know a few Brummies watch my channel, a few of the Birmingham lot. But yeah, I'm really enjoying this board, guys. I'm not going to test you know, hardcore carving on the board at the moment, because the roads are actually quite misty and quite wet, because it's been drizzling and it's been raining. I didn't really have much options but to record in this setting, unfortunately. I'm quite pressed on time, but see, that's what happens when pedestrians walk into your path. Almost got a nasty speed bubble there. But another great thing about the Exway Atlas, double barrel bushings, you know, the wideness of the trucks as well. I really am feeling actually the improvement in the width of the trucks over the OG Exway Atlas. You know, you feel that the board is taking up a lot more surface area on the road below you and on the surface below you. And not only does that give you a boost in confidence, but even in physical terms, the board is taking up more space on the road, and therefore, you know, you're getting more stability, more grip, more attachments to the road surface, and you know, it's just Exway. I love that Exway are thinking of these things. A lot of brands just stay with the same trucks over a long period of time. All right, so the rain seems to have stopped, which is a great thing, but I'm still having to deal with wet surfaces. So guys, I've been riding in this video in gear 3 of 4. I'm not even going to attempt 4 for now, especially not in wet conditions, because 4 will just throw me off, literally. I'm not sure if you can see this from the GoPro. You probably can't while the board's moving, but actually even after, like, I don't know how many kilometers have I done. I've done 34 kilometers so far on this board, and you know, I'm starting to lose tread on the tires already, in the sort of central regions of the tires, just because of the wheel spin that this board makes when you kick it off the line in gear 4 or even gear 3. It's that torquey of a board. I'm not sure how the tires are going to sort of fare over the long term. We'll have to see. All right, let's see how the board fares over those little potholes there. I didn't even feel them. I have got the board at 60 psi, which is, I believe, the recommended psi pressure for this board. A little more potholes there. Yeah, really great response to the potholes. The board does of course have its shock absorbing grip tape, as all of Exway's boards do. Drain, no problem at all. Another little pothole. Yeah, I'm really feeling comfortable on this board, which is a great thing. I'm almost tempted to put this board into gear 4, but I know I'm going to regret that. If I get injured, I'm kind of screwed because I've got a flight in a couple of days. But yeah, hi Ben, by the way. Ben's up there somewhere in one of those offices. So this is Jewelry Quarter here. If you're ever in Birmingham, then if you ever need your jewelry, this is the place to come, as the name suggests. I don't really know where I'm going here. I just really want to enjoy this board for what it is. I have stopped for a second just so that I can switch the board into gear 4, and wow, oh my god, jeez, voice crack there. Whew. Okay, I almost felt like I was going to fall off there. So the speed sign on the road is telling me 40 miles an hour. I don't want to reach it. I didn't even reach like 3/4 of the throttle there. This is gear 4. I had to let off the throttle because I don't trust, I literally don't trust that I won't fall off. Oops. Ooh, we didn't see that coming. Okay, that's enough for me. That's enough for me for now. I need to get off this little stretch before I get run over. Alright guys, I've somehow managed to lose my voice. I haven't ridden that fast on an electric skateboard for a long time. The last time I probably rode that speed was on the Flux. The board felt so stable, which is what I stopped to emphasize to you guys here. The board felt incredibly stable. What I attribute that towards is the trucks that I was talking about earlier. So 10.5-inch wide trucks, wider than pretty much any other all-terrain electric skateboard trucks. And then of course, also the double barrel bushings in all the positions. You don't have barrels and cones as you've got with other sort of two-wheel drive electric skateboards. Barrels and cones, the trucks, carbon deck. I did admittedly tighten the trucks just a little bit. I am on the orange bushings, which are slightly higher durometer than the grey ones which I saw in the box earlier. But yeah, incredibly stable. I'm so impressed. I'm not sure the exact speed that the board reached just there, probably about 35 to 36 miles per hour. So I'm not quite sure what happened there, guys. I sort of lost my voice for a bit. The Exway Atlas Pro just got me far too excited and I lost my voice. But yeah, really thoroughly enjoying this board. I'm still in mode 4, so I'm actually going to pull over and switch back to mode 3. It's really fun, but I don't fancy pushing myself really to my limits today, but I gave it a go. So I'm really surprised actually that I managed to pluck up the courage to give it a go on the first day of riding this board, or the second day actually, because I unboxed it yesterday and went for a short ride. But yeah, the reason, by the way, that I had to stop just there to change modes is because the stock setting on the Exway Atlas and pretty much all Exway electric skateboards is that you can't change gears while in the move. but as soon as I connect the board to the app, I can very easily toggle that on. I normally like to do a few things within the app. I like to enable the smart reverse. I like to fiddle around with the standby settings, so you can always turn the board on and off from the remote, which is a feature I absolutely love. A lot of electric skateboard companies do that feature now, but Exway are the ones that started it, and Exway are the ones that do it the best. I very, very rarely ever have to even touch my Exway Atlas or my Exway Flex or my Exway X1 Max or my old Exway Atlas. I pretty much 95% of the time will turn the remote on and the board will turn on by itself. Put the board down, you're ready to go. You don't have to kickstart, the board doesn't have to start riding, gather 5-6 kilometers per hour before it turns on. It will just turn on and work. That's one of my all-time favorite features. And then of course another thing I'll change within the app is enabling being able to change gears whilst moving, amongst other things, and power curves and things. Actually the power curve in gear 4 is something I'll probably change because it's just far too crazy off the line. Imagine guys, just imagine, this is two-wheel drive. So this is the two-wheel drive Exway Atlas Pro. I could barely stay on it, and I don't even think I was pushing the throttle all the way in when I took off from gear 4 from a standstill. Imagine four-wheel drive. And actually check out Ricky's channel. Ricky's now going to be making electric skateboard reviews. Ricky from Average E Skate Reviews, I'll link his channel and his video in the description once that's live. But check out his channel there, because he's got the four-wheel drive Exway Atlas and he's going to be putting that to the test. So I did see on, just hit the curb there. That's one of the things with full face helmet. Sometimes it's hard to judge. It's hard to judge how much room you've actually got down there. But yeah, I'll link that below, because I know that he's got the four-wheel drive and he was trying to basically go for standstill full throttle and he could barely manage it. And I'm really interested to see how that works, because imagine the power that I just experienced there. The four-wheel drive is double that power. Crazy, absolutely crazy. But let's get back to this ride. So as you can see guys, potholes, no problem at all for this board. They don't present any challenge for this board with 6-inch tires. And of course, being a 2-in-1 electric skateboard, if you ever wanted to, you could always, increase the wheel size. I know Gav, who I ride with here in Birmingham, has got Tramper's 7-inch tires on his board. I need to get you on this board, Gav. I know you'll probably be watching this, and I want to get your thoughts on the power dynamics and how it compares to your original Atlas. Do you guys filter through traffic as well when you're riding, or do you ride on the sort of, on the left-hand side of the road always? Here I can't really ride on the left because I want to go ahead. The left lane is going left only. Let's just see if I can make this turn here, and yeah, no problem at all. Did have to bend my knees a bit, but DKP trucks, no idea what that was. Now another interesting thing I noticed guys is that the battery reading for both the board and the remote on this board are now, rather than percentages, they're now just showing as bars. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see that, but I suspect that the reason for that is that the percentages were never really accurate. They were sort of accurate, but the bars are far more accurate. Sorry, pal. The bars are far more accurate. I would rather see an accurate figure, be it percentage or bars. I do have to say, when I was riding my Evolve GTR, for example, that was using percentage figures, and Evolve somehow always managed to get that right. I hope that other electric skateboard brands can incorporate that technology where you can have accurate battery percentage readings, because I mean, let's face it, if you can have a pinpoint direct, you've got 76% battery, you've got 35% battery, you know exactly where you stand, and you know, for example, how far away from home you are and if you can make that or not. With a bar, it's a little bit more temperamental, you can't really judge it, but I would rather have this bar than the percentage reading that was previously on, on Exway boards. So a little slight upgrade there, and definitely a feature I quite like. Pedestrians walking in front of you like there's no tomorrow. So this board is a complete beast, but equally, if you had to use it to commute through towns and cities and ride slowly in a very controlled environment, you could perfectly do that. Almost playing a game of dodge the bullet here, dodge the pedestrian rather. Yeah. If you can avoid pedestrians by any means, then always go for that path. So at the moment we're going to jump onto the tram path. I've always wanted to drive one of these rubbish removal vehicles. Ever since I was a kid, they just look so cute and so fun. And I think they've only got one seat inside, or two tiny seats. Let's not run a red there. So this is gear 3 acceleration, and like I said, you really have to exaggerate the movement of your body. You really have to go with the flow. Lean forward, but lean extra forward. When you brake, lean back, lean extra back. Don't give this board any opportunity to throw you off, because it probably will do it quite happily. It's got that much power and torque, which I'm not complaining about. It's something that you'll get used to literally within a day of riding. I'd much rather have that extra power. And like I said, with the Exway Smart app, you can always just, you know, connect your Exway Atlas Pro to the app, and then within seconds you adjust all your riding parameters. So you can be faster, slower in each of the gears. You can adjust the brake current, acceleration current, you know, to your exact preferences. Let's go right here and we'll filter through some of this traffic again. So this is the thing that I've missed most about my electric skateboards now that I've been driving more. Getting stuck in that traffic. If I was in my car, I would be back there. I'm literally saving minutes as I'm riding. So I really hope that you guys have enjoyed this unboxing and first ride impressions video of the Exway Atlas Pro 2-wheel drive. If you did, be sure to give this video a massive thumbs up. It really helps YouTube to push this video out there. And also subscribe to the channel if you're new. And if you want to go that extra mile, you can support me by donating, by hitting the thanks button just below this video. I'd really appreciate that. It goes a long way towards supporting me and the channel. One interesting thing, this is actually going to be the last video that I make before getting a hair transplant in Sweden. I'm going in a couple of days. So this is what my hair looks like. Just for the record, I'm going to look back at this video one day and I'm going to be like, that's how terrible it looked. And hopefully, fingers crossed, inshallah, it will look a lot better in a few weeks time and in a few months time. So hope you enjoyed this video, guys. Stay safe out there, ride safe. Make sure to check out Nobleman Tech for all your e-skate protection, and peace.